Hey everyone! Welcome back to Story Hive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let's jump into today's story. I'm writing this to share a painful journey I've been through, hoping it might help someone else in a similar situation. My wife and I were thrilled when we found out she was pregnant. I was determined to be the best husband and father I could be, especially since her own father had never been involved in her life. I'd seen too many cases of neglectful fathers in my previous job as a labor and delivery tech, and I was determined not to make those mistakes. However, about a month into her pregnancy, things started to go downhill. She stopped wanting any physical affection, no cuddling, no kissing. Her eating habits became erratic, and she started demanding things constantly, often yelling when I couldn't meet her needs immediately. I chalked it up to hormonal changes and stress and tried to be as supportive as possible. By the second month, she wouldn't let me attend any appointments or even work on the nursery. She started berating me, calling me useless, and eventually moved in with her mother, claiming she wanted a break. I was the only one contributing financially, and I was running on empty, juggling work and all the household chores. When the baby was born, I found out about it through a Facebook post from her mother. I tried to visit the hospital, but security kicked me out. It felt like the final blow in months of abuse. I was no longer on the birth certificate, and with all the drama, I decided to open a new bank account and withdraw half of our joint funds to protect myself. I demanded a paternity test before spending any more money on the baby. She wanted to meet to discuss things, and I agreed, not to reconcile but to finally confront her about everything. During our meeting at a park, she claimed her behavior was due to a mental breakdown triggered by her mother's influence. According to her, her mother had manipulated her into believing I would betray her and that she was acting out of fear and stress. She said she wanted to make things right and promised to set up a paternity test. I listened to her story, but it seemed too convoluted and unbelievable. Her explanation involved a lot of emotional manipulation and didn't entirely make sense. I decided to get her brother involved to verify her claims, and it turned out she had been having an affair with a coworker for months before she got pregnant. Her affair partner was apparently the father of the child, not me. She had tried to manipulate me with a dramatic story to cover up her actions. Her family, who initially supported her, eventually came clean about the deceit. Her mother's deep-seated issues with men and her manipulative behavior were the root of this entire mess. I'm now moving forward with the divorce. The paternity test confirmed the child isn't mine, and I'm grateful that I took the necessary steps to protect myself and my finances. My house is protected by our prenuptial agreement, and I'm focusing on rebuilding my life. I'm still in shock over how twisted everything became, but I'm determined to move on and find a healthier path for myself. This experience has been incredibly painful, but I hope by sharing my story, others might avoid similar heartache. It's been quite a journey, and I'm still trying to make sense of everything. Here's a bit more about what's happened and where I'm at now. After finding out my wife was pregnant, I was thrilled and committed to being the best partner and father I could be. Her father hadn't been around much, and I didn't want to repeat any mistakes I'd seen in my past work in labor and delivery. But things started to fall apart pretty quickly. She became distant, stopped wanting any kind of physical affection, and was always angry and demanding. I chalked it up to pregnancy hormones and stress, trying to be as supportive as I could. But as time went on, it only got worse. She started pushing me away completely, wouldn't let me attend appointments or even help set up the nursery. She moved in with her mother, leaving me to handle everything at home and work, all while she accused me of not doing enough. I was devastated when I saw a Facebook post announcing the birth of our son. I wasn't even on the birth certificate, and was kicked out of the hospital when I tried to visit. Realizing I needed to protect myself, I moved my money to a new account and withdrew half of our joint funds. I demanded a paternity test before spending any more on the baby. When she asked to meet to discuss things, I agreed, but only to confront her about everything. When we met, she spun this dramatic story about her mother manipulating her and causing her to act out. She said she wanted to fix things and set up a paternity test. I was skeptical of her story. It seemed too far-fetched and full of holes. I reached out to her brother to get more clarity, and it turned out that my wife had been having an affair with a coworker for months before she got pregnant. The child wasn't mine, and it was all part of her plan to manipulate me. Her family had been part of this mess, and they eventually admitted to supporting her deceit. It was a harsh wake-up call. The paternity test confirmed I wasn't the father, and I'm now moving forward with the divorce. I've secured my finances, changed the locks on the house, and am focusing on getting my life back on track. This experience has been incredibly painful, but it's also a lesson in trust and self-protection. I'm working with a therapist to process everything and am setting new goals for myself. I've learned the hard way how important it is to trust your instincts and seek professional advice when dealing with complex situations. For anyone going through something similar, I'd say make sure you protect yourself legally and financially, and don't be afraid to set boundaries. This has been a tough chapter, but I'm hopeful about moving forward and finding a healthier path. Since the last update, I've been working through the final stages of the divorce process. The legal proceedings are moving along, and it's clear now that I've taken the right steps to protect myself. I'm focused on wrapping up the legal and financial aspects to ensure everything is settled fairly and completely. Emotionally, it's been a roller coaster. Dealing with the fallout from the divorce and the revelations about my ex-wife's actions has been challenging. I've continued with therapy, which has been instrumental in helping me process everything and rebuild my sense of self. The support from friends and family has been invaluable, and I'm starting to feel more grounded and optimistic about the future. The paternity test confirmed that I'm not the father of the child, which was both a relief and a painful reminder of the betrayal. I've been working on moving forward and focusing on what I want for my life now. The house is officially mine, and I'm making sure all financial matters are sorted out. I've also been setting new personal and professional goals, trying to build a positive future from this difficult experience. It's a slow process, but I'm making progress. Overall, it's still hard to fully process everything that happened, but I'm trying to stay focused on moving forward and making the best of the situation. I appreciate all the support and advice I've received and am hopeful for what lies ahead. Thanks for tuning in to today's Reddit story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories. See you next time.